Today on the Ask BP podcast, we're talking about what are the best real estate related jobs that you can have while you're learning and saving up money to invest. Stay tuned.
You're listening to another BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at BiggerPockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, and you are listening or watching the Ask BP podcast here on the BiggerPockets social network. Thank you so much for joining us today. Joining me today. I don't know. I'm talking in like the collective us. All right. So thank you for joining us today. Today we are going to be talking about jobs that you can do to learn about investing while you're growing. So the question actually comes from Sahar from Lomita, California, who said, can you give us a list of possible job titles in the real estate field that exist that you would recommend someone to look for while they are saving money to invest? So first of all, Sahar, I want to give you a pat on the back like that, because you're awesome in that you're doing exactly what you should be doing. And that is you are learning to invest in real estate, or you're wanting to learn how to invest in real estate while making money doing so. I recommend this all the time to people. It's such a fantastic idea, right? If you want to get into real estate, chances are that you're not going to be able to quit your job tomorrow. Am I right? Chances are you're going to need income. And even if you had money coming in from real estate, you probably got to recycle that money into new projects or better deals or whatever. So I love the idea of people getting in the real estate field in order to learn more about real estate investing. And that way they can get paid to do it. It's like on the job training. So Sahar is asking, what are some of the different jobs you could do? And I'm going to list just a few of them here. I'll hopefully give you an idea of what you can start doing to be able to make money while you're learning to invest in real estate. So number one, the most obvious one that most people do, if they're going to get a job anyway, is the idea of becoming a real estate agent. That's right, getting your license and actually helping people buy and sell deals. Now, why do I think this is such a good idea? Here's why. If you are an agent, you have access to the MLS, full access. Now, the rest of us, like me and the non-agents out there, we have to use our real estate agent in order to have access. We have to be like, hey, can you open up this property for me? Can you come over here and show me this property? Can you tell me the comps of this neighborhood? What have other properties sold for? I have to use my agent all the time. Now, of course, I do have access to websites like Zillow.com, Trulia.com, Realtor.com, Redfin.com. Those are my favorite sites to look for properties, but none of them are complete. None of them have what the MLS has. So as a real estate agent, you get that. I think it's a great idea. One of the very, very first Ask BP podcasts I did way back in the day was on that topic, should you get your license. So I basically said, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Again, you also get all those cool tools. You get to be the first one to know about things that are happening. You become friends with other investors, especially if you become an investor-friendly real estate agent. Work mostly with investors. You'll start building those relationships and learning the industry and getting really good at knowing what properties are like, what neighborhoods are like, and all that. So number one, good way to do it is becoming a real estate agent. Another possible job you could do is potentially something at a title company. Work for a title company for a while. You could learn a ton about how the title process works. It's information that I wish I would have known at a younger age when I was starting that, I never learned. And so I had to figure it out slowly. If I could have worked for a company, got paid to do that stuff, and then also be able to meet investors and learn and save up money that way. Another couple of jobs you might consider doing, being a personal assistant to a real estate investor. So today we recorded a podcast episode for the BiggerPockets podcast, and this episode doesn't come out until number 35. But in that episode, I talked to the guy about the idea of this whole concept of what kind of jobs can you get. And one of the things I mentioned in there was a book that I recently read called 80-20 Sales and Marketing. It's a book just about like marketing and using the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 Pareto's principle, in order to achieve better marketing results. But in that book, there was this great nugget of information he talked about why you as a marketer need an assistant. And so he was saying you need an assistant because 80% of what you do doesn't really make a lot of money for you. Only a very small chunk of what you do every day makes you a lot of money. As an investor, for me, finding deals and, tying them up and negotiating, that's what makes me a lot of money, because I can go spend 5 hours putting together a deal and I'll make $10,000 on that deal. Or I can spend 5 hours checking email and designing a cool logo and all this stuff that doesn't make any money, right? So there's only a few tasks that I do that I have to do, and when I do them very well and I make a lot of money at them. So here's my point. Go find an established investor and do his 80%. Do the things that he shouldn't be doing or she shouldn't be doing because they are too busy making money with the things that they only they can do. Basically, it's like there's jobs you do that are worth $10 an hour. There's jobs that a person does that's worth $10,000 an hour. Help another investor do more $10,000 an hour tasks while you take care of their $10 an hour tasks. So again, it's not a specific role, but I think it's one of the best roles because then you're working with them all the time, helping them achieve what they want by doing all the other little things that they shouldn't be doing. Again, just a personal assistant to an investor, I think, is a fantastic thing. You could also consider becoming a contractor if you're handy, becoming a contractor or a maintenance person. You could try being a live-in maintenance person or a live-in resident manager. That's also a good position to hold as well. So hopefully, Sahar, that answers some of your questions about what jobs you should get. All those are pretty good. And there's a whole laundry list of other ones you could do as well. Those are just some of the most popular. So before we get out of here, I do want to cover today's success quote of the day. And today's quote comes from Walt Disney. Now this week I'm doing 3 Ask BP episodes, and all 3, the quote comes from Walt Disney, because as you're watching this, I'm probably at Disneyland because I'm going there in a few days. So the quote comes from Walt Disney, and he said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." Walt Disney. I love that. Do you have the courage to pursue your dreams? If so, remember, in the pursuit of those dreams, don't just learn, but take action. For the Ask BP podcast, my name is Brandon, signing off.
You've just heard another episode of the BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to BiggerPockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.